Hey all, Hertz here. Welcome back to episode 2 of Widget Inc. In the last episode, we got tier 1 and tier 2 production up, and we just hit tier 3 right there. So let's get started on the tier 3 production. I'm gonna start building this up here. All right, so tier 3 is oil. Now for this one, you just create a whole bunch of oil as long as it's in this green line. If you go over this into red, it immediately stops all oil production. So I'm gonna just let that go for a second. So to build the first one of each of these plants, once again, it's very cheap to do. It's the second one. It uses the tier 3 resources to build. So, this little mini game is pretty dumb. You just pull this lever down. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of power here. And then we're gonna get to the next thing, which is batteries. And we'll get the first one. This minigame is kind of silly too. But once again, notice this is using tier 1 ingots, tier 1 basic widgets. That's tier 3 power. So we have to make sure that we have our tier 1 resources rocking out. And then let's get capacitor banks. This minigame is also I like this minigame better because it does things over time. Okay, now we've got a small handful of each of these tier 3 resources, so I'm gonna just start off slowly increasing, like one at a time. Building out each of the different pieces that the individual machines inside of the factories. So it looks like, yeah, batteries. So before in the last episode, I mentioned that the different tiers have different ratios in them, and this is the first tier where those ratios are different. And batteries in this tier are the problem. You need way more battery makers than you need anything else, really. Let's just keep those going. Make another one of those. And we'll, this one is just you're doing binary math, right? I'm a programmer, so I understand how binary works. I'm going to work on building up batteries a little bit. I'm just going to build those all the way out. As I say, batteries are definitely the worst. Alright, it finally looks like we're running out of oil, so, get another one of those. And there's a technology here in a second that makes it so it governs this, this pressure thing. But we'll get that shortly. Alright, so let's build out power a little bit more. Once again, I'm just gonna max that out. All right, now you can see up here our numbers are looking pretty good. We've got all the batteries, so let's just get this going. And we'll start on the second like buildings for each one of these tier 3 items. All our resources are down to nothing while we're trying to build this out. We've got a couple more of the capacitors to make. But once again, we're going to get about 3 of these each before we start looking at research. Now, yeah, I'm sure the pressure is down on this. Okay, we're a little low on power, so I'm going to try to get this up real quick before we move on. Let's get the pressure for oil back up on both of these. And we're just going to get the first ones of these. I might get a couple battery machines inside of this factory, because battery always seems to be the in the problem child in this tier. Oh, that's what happens if you hit it too many times. Huh. That's weird. There. So that line right there, this little black line that's going across right there is kind of the point. If this dowel goes on the other side of that black line, you can click this. I don't know, that's just a little helpful hint. Yeah, once again, I'm going to build several of the batteries. Okay, let's get capacitors. And we will get a couple of those going. All right, we've got things built in all of these that are going to need to finish up. Like we're down on oil. Make sure both of these are in a good spot. All right. Finish building those. There we go. It looks like everything's built out. So let's start our third round of buildings, and then we'll get into the technology. right, we've got at least the third level of the building started. Gonna want to make sure this always goes up. It stays in the like good range, because this actually makes a ton of oil when it's in the right range. All right, let's see where we're at here. We could use a little bit more power. Batteries are always a problem. All right, let's keep those up. And pretty quick here, we're gonna get to the technology. I'm just gonna build all the pieces out. So once again, you'll see here, so this takes the tier 3 batteries and the tier 2 spinning widgets to make the capacitor. So let's look at how our other tiers are going. They're all rocking out, it looks like. So it really is, at this point, it's just the tier 3 items that we're working on. And it looks like these are all built. All right, so let's go to the tech tree over here. First thing we're gonna buy is that, and we're gonna put that on each of these. And now when that tech builds out, it just regulates this, and we'll always keep it at the maximum amount, so that will really help all of our oil production. So we can work on this one next. This increases power production. And so I'm going to buy that for each of these. We'll go for battery next. You can see our oil and power numbers are building. So we'll get the battery in there for all of these. I'm gonna do this one first. Well, we'll just research both of those. And then we'll research this guy. So this increases the productivity, so that means every time you build one capacitor, you also build, you don't build 100% of a capacitor, you build 107% of a capacitor. So once all those little extra bits add up, you get an extra capacitor. And then this one increases the crafting speed. So let's go back and add this to all of the capacitor buildings. And now we can go back and add this to all the oil. All right. And now we've got kind of the base load for tier 3 done. What we're going to do is we're going to build this out so we have 6 of each items. We'll have a couple extra batteries. Let's do that first. So we'll wait for that to build. Yep, that's already going. So let's get this one built. And then we'll get the capacitors built. All right, so we're maxed out on oil, so I'm just gonna start by building power next. And we'll just keep an eye on the oil numbers. If those start to tank, then we will address that issue. We'll get our battery numbers up here. And it looks like we're done with the 5th round. It seems like power is the problem too. All right, so I'm gonna just build power again because it looks like our oil numbers are up. See, our oil numbers are still keeping up over here. All right, so I'll just make that last bit there. And build this the rest of the way out. I'm just going to build an extra couple of these. All right. Okay, we're looking pretty good over there. Let's start. Oh, I should have bought that first. Whoops. Let's get that, and that, and now... Oh, the productivity increase of that because they're on sand tiles. I built all these on sand originally. So that is going to help out on that. This one, what's the... When you're next to exactly two other kilns. So the way that you make this is you just kind of make this kind of circle thing of them. And now each of these are adjacent to exactly two other tiles. There's no tech for that. So let's see, there's a speed up tech for glass. So let's go to glass. Oops. And then we'll go back. And we're going to upgrade both of those. We're going to upgrade this. This allows this new construction screen. These are all going to build very fast, so you're not going to be able to see the construction thing just yet. All right. And I think that's all of the tech. Oh, there's that last piece. Okay. Now we're ready for tech level 4. I'm going to start this, but we're going to end this episode here. Thanks everybody for picking up what I'm putting down. We'll see you next time for episode 3 of Widget Inc.